Listen as we go further. It requires a true knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. Through these, his glory and his goodness, he has given us his very great, the NASB says, magnificent and precious promises. He has given us promises. If you're a child of God, you have promises from God. These promises have been given so that, make no mistake, the promises you have, these are not cherries on top. These promises have been given to you per God so that, here's the purpose, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature. If you're a child of God, your eternal life has already begun. You are already living in the divine nature. If you knew that, you wouldn't settle for trying to survive. If you're a child of God, you are already living in part, the divine nature. We have a family that's going to be going to Ethiopia to adopt a little boy. I want you to know that that little boy's world will not totally change until they get him back home. But the minute they pick him up and the papers are signed and it's legal, whether they're on African soil or up in the air on an airplane, that little boy is theirs. They are a family. It doesn't matter where they are. It may not be realized and seen in its fullness until they get all the way home. But once they get him, he's theirs. And I want you to know that while we may not recognize the fullness of what the divine nature is and what we have as children of God until we get to heaven, if you are walking with the King now, you are already one who has been given the promise and the power and the potential of living in the divine nature. Stop settling for surviving and start thriving. It comes down to what you want. When Jesus first encounters the disciples that would soon follow him, first words to them, looking over his shoulder, what do you want? Question to us. Knowing you can have this, the question is, do you want it? I hear so often, oh, Pastor Jeff, I do. I said, well, then take it. Well, you don't understand. Oh, you don't want it. Yes, I do. No, you don't. There's nothing between you and that. Take it. Well, I can't right now. You don't understand the timing. Then you don't want it. Sure, I do. No, you don't. If you did, you would do it. I hear oftentimes about the excuses. If you're one that would say to me, Pastor Jeff, how dare you tell me what I want and what I don't want? You don't know what I want. If I say that I want God, but I can't right now, then you just have to accept that. Say, no, I don't. I'll call you a liar. Because God says, you can have all of me you want. And if you will be a child of mine, and if you say that you are, he says, not me, he says, you have everything you need for life and for godliness. So don't give me the excuses of what you don't have or why you don't have it.